Alright, let's do this. This is one cut, period. This is going to be off the rip. So if this motherfucker, see, if this shows up, you'll know that what I'm saying is true. One cut, one shot, one kill, right off the rip. I'm not editing shit, I'm not splicing shit, I'm not mincing, I'm not doing anything. Alright kids, here we go. We're going to make this quick and painless. I always start with the news. I have to. I'm going to read them really fast. The Spice Girls reunite at Victoria Beckham's star-studded 50th birthday. One of the Spice Girls is my age. What happens to a person's bank account after they die? I don't know. A big storm system is moving in from the Pacific. What will it mean? Alright, this is just about enough of the dumbing down that I need to get right to my point. Red Bull Formula One team turns Washington iconic Pennsylvania Avenue into a racetrack. Well, it looked like it was, they didn't do it like off, going nuts. Anyway, fuck that. Guess what? Tomorrow begins Passover. It's a Jewish holiday. I know. There's a lot of weird shit going on with, Hamas and Israel and all that crazy, nutty. It's zany. So, according to the book of Exodus, God commanded Moses to tell the Israelites to mark a lamb's blood above their doors so that the angel of death would pass over them. Pass over. Got it. All right. They would not be touched by the 10th plague of Egypt, the death of the firstborn. Oh, okay. Sounds fair. After the plague, Pharaoh, what? Ordered the Israelites to leave, taking whatever they wanted. Oh, okay. They were slaves, and now, all right, you guys got to leave. But take what you want. Okay. And then he asked Moses to bless him in the name of God. I tell you what, if you ever run into somebody named Moses, which I have, it's kind of weird. That's a weird name, Moses. What? The passage goes on to state that the Passover sacrifice recalls the time when God passed over the houses of the Israelites in Egypt. So somehow people from Israel went to Egypt, which isn't that far. It's a hop, skip, and jump over a small. Well, it's not small, but it's a. As far as oceans go, it's not a big waterway, and they can just jump right over, and they're in Egypt. Okay, got it. Let's review this. This is what the Jewish people are going to celebrate. The book of Exodus, which, it's the second book of the Bible. Not Bible 1, it's Bible 2. And there's a narrative of Exodus. And the original myth of the Israelites leaving slavery in biblical Egypt through the strength of their deity named Yahweh, who, according to the story, chose them as his people. So, you know what's funny about, I love when people talk about biblical stuff and all this, and its history and it's real, but it always says story. And then it always says interpretation. So I'm going, wait a minute. You're entitled to your own opinion. I love that. You want to talk about fucking actual liberal means liberty. They don't exist anymore in this country. They're Marxist, but it means liberty. So I'm going to say libertarian. And First Amendment is liberty. And I will walk through the fire, not like the guy the other day caught himself on fire outside of that courthouse in New York. He's a dumb fuck. I will walk through the fire for the First Amendment. Period. And definitely the second. You're entitled to your own opinion and belief. You're not entitled to your own facts. Don't tell me that's a fact. Don't tell me that a fact that if I put a lamb's blood above my door, then the angel of death is going to pass over me. Don't give me that. I mean, come on, man. Really? So with that brings me to my story. It's called Bill and Sally. Bill is sitting, now bear with me on this. Bill's sitting down in his breakfast nook. It's 7:15 in the a.m. Sally's his wife, by the way. Bill's the husband. At this point, they don't have any kids. Let's just, for the sake of argument. They're a younger couple. Bill's 30. It's a Sunday morning, 7:15. The sun is just rising. He's in his breakfast nook. He's just finished his Danish and finishing his cup of coffee. Bill has on a sweatshirt and his trousers. He's got his shoes on. He's dressed. He's ready to rock. He's got his hat on, and he's got his shades on top of his hat. Looks like he's getting ready to leave, go somewhere. Sally comes down. Bill, what are you doing? Oh, gonna go off and tee off with the boys here. We're gonna go about 8:15. Bill, you are aware that it's Sunday. Yeah, it is. I'm gonna go out. Bill, you're not playing. What's going on? You're going to church. What? Why? What's going on? Look, Bill, this is bullshit. We're done. It's time to go to church. We're gonna go. We're gonna worship. And we're gonna do the right thing. It's Sunday. Get cleaned up and let's go. Enough's enough. Great. So Bill has, at this point, only two choices. And that's it. Two. He can either A, choice A, do what she says. And go upstairs, put on a zoot suit, and do whatever she tells him to do, and become her slave. Like an Israelite in Egypt. He can do that. Or he has option 2. Now, option 2 isn't to just completely, fuck you, bitch, I'll do whatever I want. No, that normally doesn't work. Trust me. I'm one of the foremost experts of fucking up relationships is me. So, if you want to listen to somebody that knows what the fuck they're talking about, listen to me. That's not what you do. But what's Bill going to do now? Well, here's what Bill does. Not that I know Bill, or not that Bill is based on anybody that I would have known, or you know where I'm going with this. So what's Bill going to do? Well, here's the smart thing Bill's going to do. Bill's going to say, well, honey, Sally, can I ask you a question, if you don't mind? Sure, Bill. But, the service starts here soon. I got it, honey. Let me ask you a question. Now let's stop. Real quick, for the sake of argument, doesn't matter what church they're going to, doesn't matter what denomination. None of that makes any difference. None of that makes any difference. However, for the sake of the story and for some accuracy, I am going to use the Roman Catholic version of service. So I'm going to say they're going to Mass. A shit ton of people go to Mass every Sunday. A shit ton in the world. A fuckboat ton. Tons. And it's also something I'm familiar with because I was raised Catholic. I was baptized Catholic. So I went to a Catholic school. So that's the said religion that I was introduced to when I was a little boy. So I'm going to be able to give a little bit better insight if I use that as the denomination. Again, it doesn't really matter, but that's what I'm going to use. So, that being said. So Bill now has one choice. Do what she says or tell her to go fuck himself or fuck herself. Don't tell her to go fuck herself. But definitely don't do what she says. He has to say, let me ask you a question. And she'll say, okay. So what you're asking me to do at this point is change my clothes, put on some ridiculous zoot suit that looks like a bunch of other people in the community. Drive to a building that looks like a fucking castle. Find a place to park, go in, shake hands with people, don't really talk about anything of substance, and then go into this building, then find a seat like I'm at the movie. And I'm going to locate a seat. Now while I'm inside this castle, there's all kind of strange, spooky, weird pictures of people. And a lot of things to do with people that are dead. And then I'm going to pick my seat. Now, this is the Catholic version, remember. Then we're going to listen to some really fucking crappy, fucking shitty music for about 10 minutes. And it is fucking bad. It's never been good. Ever. And nobody's really going to talk because nobody's talking to each other yet. Because you haven't been able to be allowed to fellowship. You're all just in there feeling guilty. You obviously. Then the stupid music goes down a little bit, and then it jumps up. Da 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 da. Now you know the show's getting ready to start. So now the circus is fucking in town. So you're inside a castle. You're dressed like a dumbass. You're sitting with somebody that forced you to fucking be there, listening to crappy music. All of a sudden the music peps up just a little bit, and suddenly some boys walk in wearing dresses. I know this because I was one of them. We had jeans underneath them, by the way. That's true. We wore blue jeans, and then we had like a dress shirt, and that was it. But we had a dress that went all the way to the ground, so it looked like we were wearing a fucking dress. And it was this stupid little ruffle top. I wore it, trust me. I know this is true. So you have these boys walk in fucking dresses. Behind them is this dude, usually an older guy, and he's dressed like a wizard. In the castle, kind of makes sense. So the wizard man, with the little boys dressed in dresses in front of him, is walking down the aisle. And everybody stands up to look at the wizard, because this is apparently some kind of a show. And sometimes the wizard will be swinging some smoke, or he'll have another smaller wizard next to him swinging some smoke. And every blue moon, he'll have this wand with water in it, and he'll be splashing people with it. Now, this water is magic water, and I'll get to that in a minute, how it became magical, because it's pretty awesome. He's a fucking wizard. So now this old wizard goes up to the stage, or altar if you want to call it. He spins around. The boys in dresses kind of disperse. They go this way to tend to the tabernacle and shit, because shit's going to really get crazy. So then, Old Man Wizard makes a statement to the audience, as he should. You know, welcome to the fucking circus. I'm glad you're here. I know I'm dressed like a wizard. I look ridiculous. By the way, I am Father Tom. Okay, he shouldn't be a father because he's celibate. He's celibacy. They do that shit. So now I got a guy calling himself a dad, dressed like a fucking wizard, with a bunch of boys in front of him dressed like fucking dresses. And he doesn't have any kids. And supposedly has never had sex. This is the guy I'm going to listen to. Okay, got it. And I'm going, Sally, are we clear so far? This is exactly what you want me to do, right? Okay, I'm just making fucking sure. So, whatever this guy says after that, me knowing that he has never had any pussy. Number one, if a guy has never had pussy in his life, he can't tell me anything at all. He can't tell me water's wet. I'm gonna call bullshit. I'm like, no, you're fucking stupid. You have no idea what you're talking about. See, I told you it was going to be off the rip. I got disturbed. So, now, Wizard Man wants to read you a story out of this book. The Hebrew book. The book of Yahweh. It was written in Latin. Nobody fucking... If you ever read the... People, I love asking people, you ever read the Bible? Yep, I've read the whole thing. That's a fucking lie. You can't read the Bible. I've tried. And I'm not totally stupid, and I went to a Catholic school. I actually tried to open it, page 1. I got to about the 3rd page. I said, this is the stupidest goddamn, most piece of shit put together book I've ever fucking read. You can't read, there's no story to it. It's dumb. And people get mad at you about this. They go, oh no, you just don't understand. No, I don't understand. Apparently you're a fucking genius. You're some theological scholar that can decipher this shit from 47 different fucking languages, 3,000 years. I digress. Wizard Man, at this point, is going to decide he's going to pick up a cracker. And those crackers are really, really, really thin. And they come in like a Ritz cracker sleeve. I know this because I was an altar boy. I got kicked out of it for eating the whole sleeve and drinking some wine, and it foamed up. My mouth foamed. So he takes the cracker, the little one, and then magically a big one appears. This is at Mass. And he holds it up, and he tells everybody that he's going to turn the cracker into the body of a man who was Jewish and should be celebrating Passover 2,000 years ago, that was killed by Italians because he was Jewish, and now the Italians are holding a big piece of bread that's going to turn back into the Jew that they killed. Perfect. So then he waves his hand, does a magic show, and then he breaks it, and then he's silent for a minute because he's overtaken by some wizardry. Then he picks up some vino, little wine, because, you know, he's going to have a little snort here and there. This is going to become the blood of the dead Jew that his ancestors murdered. And he's going to drink it. And after he drinks it and eats some of it, now he's going to share it with the rest of you. The rest of you cannibals. Let's eat the body of the dead Jew from 2,000 years ago that we fucking killed. Rome, Roman Catholic, get it? Rome, Roman, Italy, Italian. It's just, you know, mafia. And then after that, we're going to drink his blood. This is what's going on. After this, everybody gets up to do this, and they cannibalize themselves. Now they go back to sit down. Now, Wizard Man tells everybody to stand up. They all stand up obediently. He says a couple things, tells them to sit down, stand back up. We're going to sing a song, another crappy song. And then the wizard's going to leave, and that's the end of the play. So, as Bill, sitting in a nook, looking at Sally, she wants me to do this. Everything I just said. Every fucking thing I just said, she wants me to do. And millions and millions and millions of people every fucking Sunday do this. She wants me to do that. As a man, Bill has, again, I said 2 choices. He can, 1, go do what she does and he'll be her slave. Or 2, repeat everything I just said and look at her and say, if you expect me to do that, versus going out in my truck, getting my gear, you know, strapping my clubs on my back, putting on my cleats, hitting the track, being on the links, engaging in a sport, because golf's a real sport. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. And being a sportsman, if you don't want me to do that, but you do want me to do the other thing, then you need to find another man. Or, I'm sorry, find some beta simp that you can own. Because this motherfucker, I'm not an alpha, but this sigma, no. I'm not going to that play. I'm not going to that show. I'm not doing anything like it. It sounds stupid. It sounds like something a fucking kid would go watch. Again, millions of people do it. You're entitled to your own opinion. I'm cool with that. You're not entitled to your own facts. And I'm going to tell you a fact. I'm not fucking going. I'm playing golf. Sometimes it works out for the better, sometimes it doesn't. But I'll tell you one thing that is 100%, and this is a fact. Take this one all the way with Ted McKay. I don't care where you want to take it. There is no way in hell that I'm going to miss my tee time. Unless they get pulled over by the cops. That happened one time. But I called the guys and they held it and they let a couple of groups go through. But I teed off. Quick special shout out to the lizard people. I'm all with y'all.